So welcome everyone. This is the Coding Pirate, and in this video we are going to talk about class, objects, methods, and functions. So the general understanding of what class is you can think it as a common noun, one that's used to represent the general characteristics. Like it's a general definition of an entity, where entity just means the object, right? The real world entities we can represent using class. So the car, the human being, a mobile phone, a bird, a book. When I just talk about a mobile phone, it's uncertain. I'm not talking about a specific mobile phone. I'm simply talking about a mobile phone that encompasses or that includes the properties of different mobile phones. So similar to bird, books, right? So it's not the particular, it's a common noun. I'm not talking about a particular one, right? So that's what a general understanding of class can be. So class, it's a template, or simply it's a blueprint, and it holds some of the characteristics of the real world objects, and it describes what a certain type of object will look like. It consists of different types of declaration and definition of different objects, whereas the attributes, we can see them as a variable and it holds some kind of properties. Like for example, the car, you can see the attributes: name, top speed, width, height, trunk volume, price. So these are the attributes of the class. You can include them. Let's look at an example of a class. So if a car is a class, like you can see attributes, okay? So attributes, it can have different properties that a class can hold, right? But they don't contain the actual value, for which right now I'm just putting up of some well-defined value. But a class, it just defines the properties. Inside a class, like what's the method? Like there can be other different functions inside a class, and these functions that's defined inside class are called methods, and these methods, they define the activities or behavior of an entity, and in order to access those methods we need object. So we'll discuss that in a while, but the methods are property identifier. Like the car, we can use different methods, right? Like stop, run, accelerate. And similarly with the mobile phone, you can have play music, play video, record audio, switch on, switch off. These are some of the the behavior, some of the actions that is done using mobile phones. Now here we come with another thing, that's objects. Objects are the instance of a class. You know what instance is, right? So it's an example. And when you talk about instance, it's an example. So objects are the common noun, right? They don't talk about a particular thing, that are unidentical. When you want to give an identity to a class, then you give that to objects. Like car, Ferrari, Portofino. So when I'm saying car, I don't mean a particular car, but when I'm saying Ferrari, Portofino, that is a particular car, right? So what objects does is it represents a physical entity, and it can be created as many times. One thing that you need to keep in mind is when you create a class, when you write a class, it does not occupy a block of memory. But when you create objects, you are sure that you want to reserve some block of memory, right, for the object. So what I mean is, memories allocate an object soon as you create them, but class does not reserve some certain space in memory. So these are objects and class. So you can look at some more examples of class and objects. Like as I already told you, if you become specific, right? Like humans, Mr. Gates, Mr. Musk, Miss Garrett. Along with class and objects, there comes another term, that's functions. Actually, functions, it's not written inside class, because the functions written inside a class is already a method, right? Already told you that. But functions, they can be invoked by its name, whereas methods, in order to call a method, you need an object to be created, the object of a class, through which you can get to that method, right? But you cannot simply invoke its name. You cannot access a method from outside the class. without creating an object. So we're going to implement the class and object concept in Python. So let's go ahead and create a class car, and let's also create a constructor where we'll be initializing few things like top speed of the car and self top speed, and so the speed equals to zero. Now let's create some methods where which we'll be using later, and for this let's simply display that our car is starting. Oh, don't mind my CPU sound. Define move. Here also we'll be defining some functionalities where, so in speed, move will be increasing the speed by 2, and let's print a message. It's moving speed of string. Let's convert that into string. So dot speed. You could add some more messages. For now, just let me add that much there. And let's try it. It's moving. The car is moving. Just to let the user know the car is moving after with the increase in speed by 2. So the speed, let's return that value because we need later to check that. Also, let's define another method. Sorry. Let me write that accelerate. Okay, so that we'll increase the speed of the car by 2, and sorry, we'll say the car is moving. The speed is increased by 2 and the car is moving. And also let's return this value. And finally let's define another method for applying brake. Yes, so what we'll be doing is we'll be totally reassigning the value of speed to 0. Yeah, so this is pretty much about the class. So having different methods, start should be start. Now let's go ahead and create another function where we'll be creating some class, objects for the class, and we'll be calling. So let me write a piece of note here. Press the button B to hit the brake. Okay, so maybe that's will be done. And now let's create a variable where we'll be asking user for some integer input values, about asking the user about to enter the top speed of the car. I did not add what's the top speed, the max speed for the car. Also we'll be asking for average speed, where we'll be warning user if it exceeds the average speed of the car, right? So enter the average speed in kmph. Okay, let's go ahead and create the object BMW. You could write anything. Okay, you can create any you can give any names. So let's start the car first. Yeah, now until the user does not press or does not apply brake, we want to keep moving, right? We want the car to keep moving. So let's keep moving the car first, and at certain point we also want user to ask, we also want the system to ask user if he wants to speed up, right? So let me keep a delay of 3 seconds, and after 3 seconds the user will be prompted for a choice, like if user wants to don't mind this, sorry, do you want to accelerate, yes or no. So if the choice is yes, then what we're going to do is we're going to speed, and we're going to assign a new value to speed, where we'll be calling the accelerate method, and we'll also be displaying a message that SSELD speed up. Let me say string speed. Okay, so if the user does not speed up, if user is not speeding, then but if it exceeds the average speed, then what we're going to do, we would want to warn the user that the user is speeding up, right? Oh, sorry. So you're speeding up. You can display anything message, right? You're speeding up, please be careful, something like that. But if the speed even exceeds the top speed, right? So we don't want user to die, to be honest, because if you speed up, the consequences. So you have exceeded the top speed, press B to hit the brake. Yeah. So let me store that in the in INP variable. If INP equals to B, then what we want to do is we want to display a message applying brake, the car is stopping. Okay, after that what we want to do is we're going to skip a little delay, which would look like stopping, right? So a delay of 2 seconds, and we want to break the loop. After that we are now pretty much done. But if the case isn't that, then what we want to do is we'd want to continue. So now finally let's make a call to the call car function, and let's quickly run this. So let me use the terminal and run the program. So let's say the top speed is 15 km and average speed is 10 km. Now the car is moving at speed of 2, right? So do you want to accelerate? Let me say no, I don't want to accelerate, just want to keep moving. Yeah, so again it's asking me, do you want to accelerate? Yeah, let me accelerate with some. So accelerating at speed of 6, the car is moving at 8, you just plus 2, right? It's adding up. So let's keep on speeding, speed of 12. So our the car is moving at speed of 12. So let me again speed up. So you're speeding up, car is moving at speed of 16, so we have exceeded, right? 16, so moving. So let me accelerate again. You have exceeded, press B to hit the brake. Okay, let me hit the brake, applying brake, the car is stopping. Okay. So yeah, Python implementation of class, objects, methods and functions, all the topics that I've covered here. You can check out the link below in the description, a GitHub repo link. You can get there and you can just clone the repo and you can change. Thank you for watching and see you next time.